Welcome to your Barbados Today evening news update for Monday, January 14. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Thanks for joining us. We begin with good news for the Barbados economy. The Caribbean Information and Credit Rating Services Limited, CariCris, upgrades Barbados's local currency rating while projecting economic growth of about 1% this year. However, the Trinidad and Tobago-based rating agency has warned that Barbados is not out of the woods just yet. Barbados Today's Marlon Madden reports.
CariCris said it expected the Barbados economy to grow between 0 and 1% for 2018 and 2019, based on a continued stable performance in the tourism industry and some rebound in the construction sector. In relation to its rating of the Barbados economy, the agency said it assigned a rating of CariBB with a stable outlook, up from default or CariD on its regional scale local currency rating of the government of Barbados. CariCris has also maintained its regional scale foreign currency rating of CariD or default on the country's foreign currency denominated debt. This is due to the outstanding restructuring of the external debt, which government is expected to complete by the end of March. CariCris said its decision to upgrade the rating on the local currency debt was driven by the closure of the exchange offer for domestic debt. Despite this news, CariCris said there were some downside risks to the Barbados economy which could temper growth expectation. These include continued delay in several construction projects, a decline in available options for further fiscal growth, uncertainty surrounding Brexit, and continued exposure to the risk of losing correspondent banking services. Marlon Madden reporting for Barbados Today.
Thanks, Marlon. Meantime, President of the Barbados Economic Society, Shane Lowe, says he's not surprised by CariCris's credit upgrade. He, however, says that government must stick to its targets under the International Monetary Fund program in order for the country to enjoy continued improvement.
CariCris's announcement comes as little surprise and is actually consistent with Standard & Poor's decision to upgrade Barbados's local currency rating and maintain its default rating on foreign currency debt back in November 2018. The new rating reflects CariCris's belief that the reduction in interest rates, extension of maturities, and haircuts to principal have improved the government's capacity to service its debt, but curiously, unlike S&P, suggested the government's capacity to repay is still weaker than 12 months earlier when they previously assigned the rating of CariBB.
There is a call for the church to play a greater role in helping the country's youth. It's coming from Minister of Home Affairs Edmund Hinkson, who says young people need safer avenues if the country is to arrest the situation of drug abuse and deviant behavior. He made the plea as he addressed a church service to mark the start of Drug Awareness Month at the First Baptist Church yesterday.
The devil, as we all know, only finds work for idle hands. I call on the church to take a stronger lead on saving our young people from the temptation of substance abuse. I know in a lot of cases the church does go into communities, but we need to do it more. We need to go on the blocks, we need to get into the mind and psyche of the individuals who are involving themselves in deviant behavior. You need to partner with government in this cause.
The minister also called on all of society to play their part in getting young people involved in positive endeavors.
All of us, government, civil society, including the church, including all other non-governmental agencies, have to create avenues for positive human development of our youth. The youth need to be involved in meaningful extracurricular activities after school, such as sports, culture, the arts, scouting, Girl Guides, cadets, swimming. Every Barbados, as we've said, must learn how to swim since we belong to an island. All of us have to assist the youth in their involvement in these positive extracurricular activities in order to assist in their acquisition of positive characteristics.
Ross University School of Medicine is offering scholarships to Barbadian students. The medical school, based at the Lloyders King Sandiford Center, today announced the launch of the need-based scholarships, which covers the cost of medical school tuition and fees for 2 qualified Barbadian students every semester, providing up to 6 scholarships a year. The application process began today. To qualify, individuals must be a citizen of Barbados and accepted to study at Ross University as long as the recipients maintain satisfactory grades throughout their enrollment.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
In news from our regional neighbors now, a steady increase in juvenile detainees at St. Lucia's main penal institution is causing much concern for authorities there. Deputy Director at the Bordelais Correction Facility spoke with HTS News Force about the situation.
Policy at St. Lucia's main penal institution, when possible, ensures juvenile detainees are not mixed in with the adult general population. BCF Director Terence has expressed concern with what he says has been an increasing rate of younger St. Lucians who have been committed to or remanded on pretrial detention.
Young offenders are not placed together with the adult offenders. They are in a separate unit, although these days realize the young offenders unit is rapidly, population is rapidly increasing.
On January 7th, BCF took in the 16-year-old duo facing murder charges. Prison life can be an emotionally, psychologically, and physically taxing ordeal. BCF has given assurances the youngest in custody are protected.
Well, all I can say is that they are here. They are given all the proper treatment that we are able to.
And finally, on the international scene, a Canadian citizen in China has been sentenced to death after a court convicted him of drug smuggling on Monday. According to reports, the move is likely to further inflame tensions between Ottawa and Beijing. More in this Reuters television report.
A Chinese court on Monday sentenced a Canadian man to death for drug smuggling after prosecutors said an original 15-year sentence given in November was too lenient. The case against Robert Lloyd Schellenberg will further test already tense bilateral relations, since Canada's arrest of a Chinese executive at the request of the U.S. in December, followed by China's detention of 2 Canadians on suspicion of endangering state security. Beijing-based Western diplomats have called those 2 detainees political hostages being used as leverage by China, and a clear reprisal for the arrest of Huawei CFO Meng Wanzhou in December. U.S. authorities allege Meng deceived international banks into clearing transactions with Iran by claiming that 2 companies that did business with Iran were independent of Huawei. But corporate filings and other documents found by Reuters in Iran and Syria show that Huawei is closely linked to both firms.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.